That is amazing. Pepsi, where everything tastes like racial equality.
If you're in the building, put your hands up. Put your hands up. Put your hands up.
Alright, now that you've seen my new ad, Pepsi, definitely pick me up as a sponsor because I think that would be amazing. What's up, guys? Your boy One Choice. We're back here with another video, and I could not believe this when I saw it. This was... I could only describe it as shocking that it's gotten this far. Now, I understand on social media there is always going to be absolute oxygen thieves who need the platform with their ridiculous loony left ideology, and they'll always get it on social media, says the social media person. Anyway, but it has gone so far beyond that in the last year or so, to the point where now it's in corporate... I was going to say corporate America, but it happens everywhere, so I can't just be bailing on the Americans. It's hitting in an industrial stage now, and it's ridiculous. So a little while ago, there was a whistleblower within the Coca Cola company who announced that there was a racial awareness training that I believe they had to pay for. One of the sources I actually read said they had to pay to go to this training, that basically told them, and not even basically, like in those exact words, told them to be less white. Now, I cannot believe this because this is not racial equality. This is just being racist. Like, this is ridiculous. You know, you couldn't even imagine what would happen if a company came out there and told people to be less black. It would be astounding. There is only one person in the world I've ever heard get away by saying that, and it was a black comedian, and it was a comedy thing, and everyone laughed because it was a joke. But this is no joke. This is just getting out of hand. So what I want to do is I want to take a look at a couple of these things, and I wanted to explore them with you. So let's get into it. All right, I'm going to be reading them off the screen, but I'll put it up here to make it a little bit easier for you. So according to Coca Cola, and I don't care if this was an external training thing that you brought in, if you didn't check everything that they were teaching, you're a fool. And I guarantee you did check everything they're teaching because you're a multi-billion-dollar corporation and you pay people to do exactly that. So you've either got a choice. The entire of Coca Cola is completely corrupted now with this leftist woke trash, or you're hiring the wrong people and they are taking you down a dark, dark path. Let's read this. To be less white is to be less oppressive, to be less arrogant, to be less certain, to be less defensive, to be less ignorant, to be more humble, to listen, to believe, to break with apathy, and to break with white solidarity. Now I'm just going to throw this out there because I believe this is actually just as racist towards black people as it is towards white people, because if you are to believe what these people are saying, then everything that is a white characteristic to become less white is to, in theory, become more black. And so let's flip that around for a second and let's take a look at what these people believe are black characteristics. Because that's what it is. If you're going to become less white, then you're going to become more black. So to incorporate these qualities is what these people consider to be black qualities. So let's take a look. Less oppressive, I've got no problems with that. Less arrogant, well, it's good to see that they think black people are less arrogant. I think it's very hard to assume the entire race of people hold any certain trait, but you know, I know some very, very humble people of all different races, and that's fine. Less certain. Ooh. So just to clarify, Coca Cola, you're saying that you believe that black people don't have enough self-confidence to make decisions for themselves.
Huh?
Yeah, let that one sink in. All black people can listen. It's very good to know that that's the only race of people who can listen. Or maybe it's just that white people are the only people who can't listen. Man, this is getting even more racist. And to break with white solidarity. So if white people are to be less white by breaking with white solidarity, do you know what that actually means? That actually means that the blacker you are, the more you hate white people. And oh my gosh, is that not the definition of racist? To not like a particular race. And I am not going to stand here and say that the blacker you are, the more you hate white people, that black people hate white people. I'm not going to do that because, look, the majority of people out there are not racist. And we're going to touch on that in a little bit. But I just think this is so ridiculous that people are actually jumping on this and saying, yeah, this is what equality is. No, this is bashing a particular race. And it was not okay when it happened to African American slaves. It was not okay when it happened to the Hebrews in Egypt. It was not okay when it happened over here and over there and over there and over there and over there. And it's still happening in places like China. It's still happening in India. But, oh man, that's right. They're not white, so we better not bash on it. That's the problem. Alright, now we've got a couple of videos we're going to take a look at. So the first one is... Oh, got started early. Now, from what my sources have gathered, this training by Coca Cola was organized, or at least inspired through the study of Dr. DeAngelo, so Dr. Robin DeAngelo. And this lady is like so woke she don't sleep. It's ridiculous. So we're going to go through a video that she's made, and we'll walk through it step by step. All right.
To be white in so many ways is to be raised to be functionally illiterate on the topic of race.
All right. So to be white is to be raised to be functionally illiterate. So functionally illiterate is basically like deliberately ignorant. So to deliberately ignore something, to deliberately not learn something. It's deliberately, so functionally ignorant of race. All right. So that basically means that to be white, you need to have no concept that there's any other people other than white people. You need to have no concept about culture. You need to have no concept about diversity. You need to have no concept about geology, commerce. There's a lot of things that go into it. But thank you, white lady, for explaining that to me.
I am white, and part of being white is that I was not raised to see myself in racial terms. I understood that somebody had race, but not really me. To be white is to see oneself outside of race, to see oneself.
Have you considered that that's a problem with your family, not everyone else's? Just throwing it out there.
In racial terms. I understood that somebody had race, but not really me.
I understood that somebody had race, but not really me. What does that even mean? Are you serious, Ida? Like, what? I was raised to know that somebody had race, but it wasn't really me. Does that mean, just to clarify, Robin DeAngelo, and if you're watching this, I would love for you to answer this question. Does that mean you got raised knowing that you weren't American? Or not knowing that you were American? Hold up a second. Pepsi. You get that front and center. Hashtag sponsor me. Are you clarifying with me that you did not know that you were American? You did not know that you were Caucasian? I've got no idea what your genetic and cultural background is, but you had absolutely no concept of that. Just wanted to double check.
To be white is to see oneself outside of race, to see oneself as a unique, special individual, exempt from the forces of socialization.
To see yourself as a special, unique individual, exempt from the forces of socialization. So basically, and correct me if I'm wrong, Robin, what it sounds like you grew up as a white supremacist. Now, just because you did that doesn't mean the rest of us did. Exempt from the forces of socialization. That is basically saying that you grew up believing that you were better than everyone else. Have you considered, and just bear with me for a second, that was just you? Maybe you grew up thinking you were better than everyone else? Maybe? I don't know. Because I didn't grow up thinking I was better than everyone else. You know, I grew up in a lot of different locations with a lot of different cultural influences within the neighborhoods I lived. And not a single time did I see someone from another culture and think, man, I'm better than them just because of this. Hell no. Seriously? Oh, here we go. Okay. Before we get into whatever trash she says, I don't see color is a phrase used not only by white people. Okay, I don't see color is not meant to be taken literally. Okay, the person is not saying they're colorblind, the person is not saying they're ignorant. Pardon me. What the person is saying is they do not judge the book by the cover. They're saying, I do not judge someone based on the way that they look. When I see someone, I see an individual. I don't see a white person, I don't see a black person, I see an individual. That's what I don't see color means. But let's see what she says.
I'll never forget a moment of standing beside a black man leading a workshop on race, and a white woman said to him, I don't see color. He said, well then how are you going to see racism? Because I am black. I do think you know that, and I have a different experience than you do. And you're not going to be able to understand that, and you're not going to be able to support the parts of that experience that are really painful and problematic if you refuse to acknowledge my reality. I don't see color is really a way of saying I refuse to acknowledge your reality.
I don't see color is a way of saying I refuse to acknowledge your reality. So reality, I guess you could say the act of being real, or the fact of being real. So this guy leading a race workshop was saying that she refuses to acknowledge the fact that he is black because she says she doesn't see color. Now, I've already refuted that, but let's go on to this next bit that she said. I'm just going to quickly rewind it for you so you can just see this last little bit.
I don't see color is really a way of saying I refuse to acknowledge your reality.
I refuse to acknowledge your reality. Oh my gosh. So when people say I don't see color, what you're hearing is that they don't believe there's anything other than white people out there. What if a black person says they don't see color? Oh, wait a second. That's detrimental to your case. Shh, sorry, I won't say that. Okay, next one. Okay, I have black friends. Look, personally, I don't particularly like this phrase either, because it kind of makes me feel like you're using your black friend as almost like as leverage or credit. But that's only when, when someone's like, oh, you only like white people. It's like, no, I have black friends. Like, I've got nothing wrong with having black friends. I've got a lot of black friends myself. Alright? But I don't have them so I can win an argument about race. I don't have them so I can prove I'm not racist. I have them because I don't care what color my friends are. I care that they're quality friends. I care that they're good people. I care that they treat me well. I care that they're safe for, to be around my kids. That's what I care about. Let's go into this.
What's important about that narrative is it reveals what the person thinks racism is. So if the person is...
That's not important at all. Because if what's important is what people think racism is, then racism becomes a relative term that is only important to that particular person. Case in point, comedy. In Scotland now, you can be jailed for saying something that people deem offensive. But there is such a broad concept of what people deem to be offensive. So I could say that, you know, I really hope Sweden wins the Winter Olympics, the next Winter Olympics. I really hope Sweden does. Someone might be able to say that that's racist because there is no single black person on the Swedish Winter Olympic team. Did I mean that to be racist? No. Maybe I just thought Sweden had a really cool team. Maybe I just really liked the light blue and the yellow with the cross. Who knows? I've got my reasons for saying that. Were they racially motivated? No. But someone else thinks that's racist, and that's what's important. And that's the problem with this world right now.
Is using proximity, fondness across race as evidence of a lack of racism. In order for that to be good evidence, a racist must not be able to do that. So that...
In order for that to be good evidence, a racist must not be able to do that. Guys, Robin DeAngelo is never allowed to say that she has black friends. Because you are the biggest racist out. Oh my gosh. How do we establish that? If someone's racist, they're not going to have friends of a different race because they're racist. Oh my gosh, doesn't that seem to be basic and obvious to you? If as a white person, and this is hypothetical, if as a white person I were to say that I do not like people of any other race, why would I be friends with people of other races? It's illogical. If you're friends with people of other races, it probably means that you don't care that they are from another race. Because if it bugged you, you wouldn't spend time with them. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is hurting my soul.
Rests on an understanding that a racist cannot tolerate proximity to people of color. And I'm hoping that we can see that's pretty absurd because, trust me, even avowed racists can tolerate being around people of color, and often are.
Yeah. An avowed racist can tolerate being around people of color because it doesn't bother them. Race has nothing to do with it. It's about class. I cannot wait for this one.
You cannot talk about any other issue without talking about how race informs that issue. And when someone says it's about class, that tends to function as a way to get race off the table.
You can't talk about anything without bringing race into it. One second, let me set my phone. This is a Pokemon card. A Pokemon card. Now, we've got two choices with this Pokemon card. Okay? We can say that this is a Pokemon card. We can establish that Pokemon is fun. It's a collectible thing that I do, and we can leave it at that. Or we can establish that this is a Japanese Pokemon card. You can see that because it doesn't say Pikachu in English, it says Pikachu in Japanese. We can then say that Pikachu is yellow, that's racist towards Asians, and we can make this a really big issue. We could say one choice, look at the color of your skin, you should not have something that's Japanese. We could make this a big issue. It's a trading card. It does not have to be racially defined. Okay? This is a can of Pepsi. Is it racially defined? Let's find out. Oh. No, because I'm white, I can drink it. I could give this to anyone of any race and they could drink it. Oh wait, the liquid's black. Oh man, damn. Here I was thinking we're completely on top of this and that there was nothing to do with... This is stupid, okay? I need you to understand this. Not everything is defined by race. Now let's even look into things like economics. Economics do not have to be defined by race. Politics do not have to be defined by race. Sport does not have to be defined by race. Except for sprinting, because that is a race. Bruh. That's a pun for you, you're welcome. The point that I'm trying to make is that race only has to be brought into things if we choose to do it. Let's look at religion. Alright, now at my church, I think there's something like, is it 78 different cultures in the one church? Now, that's amazing. And it's never brought up. Why is it never brought up? Because no one cares. It's that simple. Because when you're there, you're not there because you're white or black or Latino or Polynesian or Asian, pardon me, or European or American or whatever it is that you are there because you are meeting with people for a specific cause. And that is to learn more about Jesus and to be there to encourage your fellow brothers in the faith. And sisters, you know what I mean. Don't get woke on me. Alright, let's get the next one.
First of all, we're already divided by race. And focusing on race is not what did it. I would say not focusing on race, refusing to grapple with how race shapes virtually everything is what keeps us divided. And that is a very white narrative. All of those narratives function to get race off the table, close the exploration, exempt the person from any further engagement, and protect the racial hierarchy and the white position with it, which is an unequal hierarchy. The challenge I want to offer my fellow white people is changing the question from if to how. So dominant culture asks if I'm racist, and I want to change that question to how have I been shaped by the forces of racism? How is racism...
Okay. I feel like a lot of this was summed up by my last point, okay? Things only need to be defined by race if you make them defined by race. Sorry, scratch that. Things very rarely need to be defined by race. Alright? Things are only defined by race when you make it about race. It's that simple. Now, change it from if I am racist to how have I been shaped by racism. Well, let's take a look at this. Let's take me, for example. So, let's go with both of them. If I am racist, well, I guess by this standard, damn it. I must be racist. Man, I was getting so good at that. How have I been defined by racism? Now, I grew up in Australia, all over the east coast of Australia. And I have actually seen, and this is not a slight on anyone, this is what I have witnessed. I have actually seen more racism from people of color towards white people than the other way around. That's what I have witnessed. Now, I understand that because I'm white, I've got no credibility in this, do I? But that's what I've witnessed. So what have I been shaped to know? I've been shaped to know that racism goes both ways. But that doesn't work with the leftist agenda. So make sure you don't listen to me, okay? Because that would be horrible.
And manifesting in my life, because it circulates 24/7, 365. None of us can be and none of us were exempt from its forces. And this is where individualism can come in. I have a particular story, but that story didn't exempt me. And so I can ask myself, how did all the things I see as unique about me set me up into the overall racist structure? Because it did.
I just want to let you know that my personal experiences don't exempt me. Which I agree with. If I allow... Ladies and gentlemen, I do quickly want to apologize because my camera cut out. At the moment, I'm not 100% able to comment on whether or not my camera has censored me. But I'm back now. So we got another video to look at now, and this is actually an interview with a member of the legal team in Coca Cola itself. And this is a very interesting interview. So I want to go through it and I'm going to make some comment on it. And we're going to see where this goes. I have straight boycotted Coca-Cola in this household. We do not drink Coke anymore.
Coca-Cola is making a step to demand and help increase diversity in the legal profession. So let's chat that now. We're joined now by Bradley Gayton, General Counsel at the Coca-Cola Company. So Bradley, Coca-Cola making steps to increase diversity in the legal profession by placing these diversity demands on your outside legal counsel. And we have them for everyone to see at home if we can put those up on the screen. Now, I'm curious to know how important it is for big corporations like Coca-Cola to make these steps. What kind of impact do you think it can make?
Yeah. Well, first of all, thanks for having me this afternoon. It's great to be with you. Listen, this is it's fundamentally important. Primarily because of the clock speed at which business innovation is moving. General disruption of classic business models is just moving at an unprecedented pace, and it's just clear that.
Are you looking at what I'm looking at right now? I know it's over here for you, it's over here for me. So I'm going to look this way, even though we're going to be reading it here. For all new matters, firms will commit at least 30% of build time from diverse attorneys, and of such amounts, at least half from black attorneys. Alright. So, I've got absolutely no problems if you want to have an attorney who is black. I've got no issue there. However, I would like to ask, are you picking your legal team based on what's best for the company, or are you picking your legal team based off skin color? I'm not saying the black attorney isn't as good. I'm not saying the white attorney is. But you're guaranteeing 15% minimum of your time to guaranteed black attorney time. Are you vetting if that attorney is as good as the attorneys you're putting to 70% of the time to? Because honestly, I would rather, and let's use a random race, I would rather put 100% of my time into a Malaysian attorney who I know is good. Not because he's Malaysian. Whoop, there goes my headphones. Not because he's Malaysian, but because he's good. It's that simple. Alright? my attorney, shock horror, is white. I know, I can't believe it. Why would I pick that? Because she's good. It's that simple. All right, it's that simple, and I don't understand this. And I know, I just guarantee you, because of this left woke trash, diverse attorneys is going to cover everything except for straight white males. All right, black, diverse. Latino, diverse. Asian, diverse. Female, diverse. Gay, diverse. Have I got a problem with any of these people being attorneys for Coca Cola? No. What I've got a problem with is these people being picked because they are something. That is my problem. My problem is that these people are being picked based on race, not based on performance. And that's sad. Let's keep going.
It's important to increase diversity of the teams that are serving us, because there's been plenty of data that shows that diverse teams produce better results. And we want to assemble those winning.
So they've shown that diverse teams get better results. So we're all in favor that diversity gets better results. Then I'm going to throw out a challenge to you, Coca Cola, because your product is entirely black. I think that 50% of the liquid that you pour into those red cans should be white, because diversity is best.
Teams to help us achieve our business aspirations. And so to the question of, what can we do here and what impact will we have, I think.
Now look, I understand I've taken up a lot of your time as well, so this video I have actually seen, so I'm just going to quickly skip through the point I really want to get to.
And then in September, I saw one of those firms produce yet one more of these collages, announcing the opening of a new office. No diversity at all. So that, coupled with what I'm seeing as an impact of the pandemic on women and people of color.
Did he just say that the pandemic had an effect on women and people with color? Did this cat just say that? So the only people who weren't affected were white males. Just to clarify, while everyone else was suffering and dying in ditches from the coronavirus, all white males were living something like the Great Gatsby. I'm pretty sure that's what was happening. Yeah, so the majority of people were like this. But us white males, we were like this. No? That's so stupid. I cannot believe this guy would say that. Alright, look, I've taken up a lot of your time. The summation of this is don't be a fool. Alright? If you're one of these cats who gets up here and blames everything on white males and claims that you do not go far enough in life because of white males, even if you are a white male, honestly, it makes you a beta male. If we were looking at this from the primal pack-like sense, that just pushes you down to one of those snivelly little betas that can't get anywhere because they don't think that they're good enough to do it. So they blame other people. That's what it is. Alright? Do not be like that. Do not be that person. Alright? You guys have a great night. Pepsi, sponsor me. And I'll see you guys later.
If you're in the building, put your hands up. Put your hands up. Put your hands up.